Welcome, everyone. This is the Co-Pilot Show for Tuesday. I have to look at the calendar, March 22nd, because I have no idea what day of the week it is. It's Tuesday. It's Co-Pilot Show Day. There's no co-pilot. It's just me, Mitch, your host. Kiki's here. Let's see who else is here. Alexander, welcome. Bradley Waldrop is here. My good friend Bradley. Good to see you, Bradley. Greg, Joe, Kiki, we know, Rich, Rick, Rodney, Rita, interesting spelling of Rita, Stephen Hogland. I'm so excited to see everyone here. It's Q&A day. That means that right now, each one of you should be typing in a question, and I say that and I think to myself, ooh, I wonder what Bradley's question's going to be. Oh... Good to see you, Stephen. Thanks for commenting. But you got to be typing in questions because the purpose of the show today is to get your questions answered. So if you're watching over on Facebook, Kiki says, I'm all out of questions. Ha. Ha. I find that hard to believe. You have the questions, I have the answers. Or I just point my finger at Bradley and say, go talk to him. All right, let's go. Come on, questions. Just came to learn from the best, Kiki says. Why, thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. Oh, I need to go check. Let's see if anybody submitted any new questions. Nope. No new questions in the spreadsheet. But I do have a couple of questions from earlier. I wonder... I'm looking at the spreadsheet, which is why everything suddenly got white. Let me move it over there. Oh, well, that's white too, isn't it? When you're doing live streaming, you have to pay attention to what's on your screen because that changes the lighting. Even doing that, the lighting changes because it's got, look at that. My face becomes more natural. This is too blue. Live streaming. Come on, y'all. Have a question. From the previously submitted questions, Kalpesh asked a question a couple of weeks ago, which we did talk about back in February. What do you think of the idea of using UpViral to sell cookie boxes like Girl Scout cookies? I want to know how that's going if you did that. If you ever are watching this replay, I want to know how that's going. I think it's a fantastic idea, and we talked about that in that earlier show. It's a different take on doing it, right? It's a very different take because the idea being it's not necessarily the initial person that you get signed up, although having them on an email list is certainly a better opportunity so that you can get to them next time you do the cookie sale. But they also are going to invite their friends. The whole purpose of using UpViral is to invite your friends or have them invite their friends, right? The people who sign up. Brilliant idea. I want to know how it worked because I know Girl Scout cookie season is going on right now. Let's see. What was the other questions? Dira asked, and I don't think we answered this, if I don't have an email list or my opt-in page ready for any leads, what can I do? Where can I start? Complicated question, isn't it? It's the same question basically everybody else has. Where do you get traffic? Number one, make sure you know who your avatar is. And I know that question's been beaten to death. Every person that does training on marketing tells us you need to know about your avatar. It's nothing new for you people to hear it from me. But it's one of the most critical steps. And if we have some time later today, I was looking at some campaigns out there on the internet, which I often do. So many people don't even understand their audience and they don't understand why their campaigns fail. It just drives me crazy. I want to fix the world. Hi, Jeff. Glad to see you here. Thanks for commenting. So, Dera, D-E-R-D-E-Y-R-A, Dera. I'm butchering names as I usually do. Here's the age-old question. Once you have your avatar, where do you find traffic? A couple of ways of making that happen, right? When you're defining your avatar, find out where those people hang out. Find out where they are. They might be on Facebook, they might be on Reddit, they might be over on some social media thing that I don't know anything about. Might be on Twitter. They might be in all those places. If you have somebody that is your perfect avatar, or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, go ask them where they hang out, talking about the topic that is your niche. Then you start going after those audiences directly. I can't remember his name. I never remember his name. And it was Chris. One of the smartest things I ever saw. Chris was a painter. No, actually, he was an adult. He was into, not adult as in after hours activities, but adult as in you and I are adults, coloring books. He spent 6 months in Facebook groups that have a large number of people who do adult coloring books for relaxation or whatever their reason is. And he answered question after question after question. And he became the group expert, or one of the group experts. There were 200,000 people in that Facebook group. He spent 6 months becoming a local expert. He made friends with the community leaders, the people that owned the Facebook group. In one fell swoop, he said, "Hey guys, would it be okay if I run a contest?" Group owners said, "Heck yes, you've been supporting the group, go ahead. We won't even charge you for it." He got 100,000 leads in his first contest, giving away a single $300 prize. He knew where his audience was. He spent 6 months cultivating his audience. So many of us want the instant win, right? We want to go, okay, I want 100,000 people on my email list instantly. Doesn't work that way. Absolutely doesn't work that way. You got to go find out where they are. There's a million different places they could be, right? You don't have to start with an existing email list. But you're darn well going to build one. So that's where you start. Those are your starting places. Find out who your audience is and where they hang out. Simple. Cultivate those people. Find out what they want. And as my good friend Bradley likes to say, who's willing to crawl through broken glass to win this XYZ thing? That's the kind of product the offer needs to be. I probably don't have it ready. Not there, Mitch. Here. Where was it? A couple of weeks ago. And now I'm not going to remember. And it's not here. Dang it. Oh, here it is. Now, pretend. You guys, I don't think I'm going to get in trouble, but you guys can probably figure out that this is another tool. It's not UpViral, but this is absolutely the kind of thing that I want you to learn not to do. Okay? I'm going to share my desktop. All right, I think I'm sharing my desktop. Zoom, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to want to put the border around it, but I see the sharing thing over on that screen. Why am I having a It wasn't Kendra. Who was it? Anyway, a couple of weeks ago when we did the review show, we looked at a coach, right? She wanted to give away her coaching. I found this one. Megan Leahy, parent coach. Free one-on-one coaching is her prize. Look here at the top that says, oh, wow, 9 entries. Hey, Shamal's here. Hi, Shamal, over on Facebook. 9 entries. This young lady is not doing very well in getting her campaign promoted because nobody wants to win this because it's not instantly lust-worthy because nobody knows who she is. Nobody knows her qualifications. They don't know whether she could be the neighbor next door that had 12 kids and they're all horrible little brats. I don't know. What are her qualifications? I'm giving you a free 30-minute laser coaching session. Psst, isn't that the thing that many of us give away for free just to try to get clients? So why is this a big special prize? Oh, you also get a copy of my book, Parenting Outside the Lines. And I'm throwing in some beauty consumer sunscreen. So many things wrong with this young lady. Megan, you got 9 total entries. I don't know when she started it, but there's 6 days left. I don't think this is going very well for Megan. This is why you go look at other campaigns, by the way. You find out what people are doing and you see, because it's easy to look at other people's campaigns and ask questions and go, well, I know that's not working, or yes, it's working like gangbusters. But I think this was a perfect example of what not to do. Sorry, Megan. I know she's not watching because that's another tool. But you gotta know your audience. You gotta know what they recognize and what they lust for. These people are obviously not lusting for a 30-minute coaching session with Megan. Good try, Megan. That was your first try, maybe. Let's try something that they want, not what you want to give. I'm preaching, I know. Get into these modes, and I just start preaching. So, Dara, go do those 2 things. Know your avatar, know where they hang out. Once you know those things, you can start crushing it. That's what Chris did. I think that was Chris who did the adult drawing. Next question in the older list. What's the best advertising for print-on-demand website to run a contest for building a list? Well, UpViral, of course. That's a simple answer. I can do that one. Scott, by the way, in the comments said, overnight success takes time in preparation. Absolutely true. Ring the bell for Scott. That question was from Dave. What's the best advertising platform? Oh, well, he said advertising. I don't know. I don't do ads. Almost all of my traffic, I can tell you that my plaque back here for 250,000 UpViral leads, the 95% of the campaigns that we did, we never ran a single ad. 250,000 leads later. Now, we knew where the audience was. We had a list already built. We had all kinds of things that we built up over time. That was over 7 years to get to 250,000. Wasn't a one and done kind of a thing. I wasn't an overnight success. I can guarantee you there were some dogs in those campaigns. Key is you learn from them. Hashim asked, is there a way to configure Google Tag Manager once in my entire account? Now, you guys use Google Tag Manager, right? Everybody should be using Google Tag Manager. I don't know enough about Google Tag Manager. I'm a hacker at Google Tag Manager. If you're doing, and I assume the entire account, Hashim, is for UpViral, Google Tag Manager is kind of a funny bird. And again, I am not an expert because there's workspaces And then there's accounts, and what I'm doing in my Google Tag Manager is I have an account for a tool I use called Searchy, and I have an account for UpViral. The problem comes in when I'm using my UpViral Google Tag Manager account. Maybe if I'm doing it for client A, and I'm using my account as opposed to their Google Tag Manager, and I want to have some different things in my script world for client B, then I have to have a separate account because I don't understand the workspaces stuff. Workspaces seem to be in Google Tag Manager, which you can have 3 per account, but there's only 1 active at any one time. So basically you have to have separate accounts in Google Tag Manager. And I know some of you are going, okay, really, Mitch, you are so over my head. What the flip are you talking about? Right? Somebody raise your hand and say that's what. It's over my head. I'm snoozing until there's another question. Right?
Huh?
Kiki says, I'm with you. Thank you, Kiki, for commenting. All right, so where do you use Google Tag Manager? So Google Tag Manager, and I don't know that I really need to show you my Google Tag Manager account, but here's my UpViral account. And I'm just going to go edit this campaign because it's the one at the top. And if you're using Google Tag Manager, they give you a script to install on your particular website. If you don't know this, you should. We've talked about it before, but here in the header and in the footer on the lead page and the sharing page, you have options to put code, script, the Google Tag Manager stuff. Here you see I have, in this particular one, just debounce. So I have manually put that in here. Bad example, Mitch. Here it is, Google Tag Manager I'm using on my sharing page. So they give you the script and you put it inside of your UpViral page, inside of your UpViral campaign. And so you could use the same Google Tag Manager for every campaign you were running in your entire account, Hashim. But if you need different scripts, so I'll go back and for those of you who don't know, this debounce is a tool that will verify, validate email addresses. This script is something that I could put inside my Google Tag Manager. So instead of putting it on my lead capture page, I could just use this Google Tag Manager script and manage all of those scripts over in Google Tag Manager as opposed to putting them in here. That's the purpose of Google Tag Manager, at least for the way we use it. Okay, so I hope I've explained that, Hashim. Thank you for submitting the question. Ring the bell for Hashim. Nobody's here has asked me a question yet. You guys have got to start typing some questions. Let's see if there's any in the Facebook. No, just Shamal over there watching. All right. Oh, I'm still showing my desktop, aren't I? Hey, look at that. Have you guys seen this? Have y'all seen this? This is from the James Webb Telescope. This is one of their final alignment images. I don't know if you can see it. Let me turn on my... Where's my... God, where? It's not turned on. No wonder. That's a long way away. Yes, it is. Pro mouse. There it is. Each one of these little dots, and some of them are hard to see, especially... especially some of the little ones. But you see these over here. They might come through on Facebook. These are galaxies. On average, a galaxy, and I posted that over here, has 100 million stars. 100 million possible planets in each one of these things. If a star had a livable planet, you know all the math. But Every one of these is a galaxy. There's maybe 50 to 100 galaxies in this image. That's a lot of galaxies and possible people. Anyway, I get distracted. Kiki says, if you watch enough Copilot shows, you've answered all the questions multiple times. Actually, that's not necessarily true. The cookie question was brand new. I'd never been asked that one before. That was brand new. Let's see if there's any new questions in the UpViral group. I don't see any. All right. Okay, so let me get back to the other question. I want, this is Keith submitted this question on the 21st. Today's the 22nd. This was yesterday. Way to go, Keith, for submitting a new question. All right. The question is, thank you for being patient. Kiki says, this Copilot is only going to be an hour. I don't know. We're 23 minutes in. This is Keith's question. I want to build an interest list, and interest is in quotes, before we launch a crowdfunder campaign for a feature film. We've actually done a campaign review long time ago for a film. It was a disaster of a campaign. Yes, I said it. Any tips on newsletter development? Okay, those two things kind of sort of maybe aren't the same. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Of course, you're going to build a newsletter for every email list you create, right? I want to build an interest list before we launch a crowdfunder campaign for a feature film. So first of all, it's basically a wait. Excuse me. Sorry. Did that... I don't think that muted fast enough. Anyway, sorry. A waitlist campaign would be fantastic for a movie, right? You have to give people enough of a teaser to get them to understand what the movie is going to be about. You have to get them excited. Just like any other offer, you got to get them excited enough for they crawl through broken glass, like Bradley says. In order to be excited about it, to give up their email address. Do not forget that many people are very, not secretive, conscious of where they give out their email address. Many people have a junk email address. You want them to give you their best email address possible, so you want them to be excited about possibly winning. When you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, you want there to be a lot of interest before you start asking for money. You got to do all kinds of things in your waitlist process to get them excited. And yes, you're going to build a newsletter. You're going to send the emails on a regular basis to your list. You want to keep them engaged. You want to keep them excited. If I were doing something like a feature film, I might send a short synopsis each week of one of the characters. Maybe with some photos during filming or little video clips. Get the people excited about what the storyline is. Give them all kinds of information about what the plot line is, who the author is, all that kind of stuff. Maybe you put together a video of Q&A with the authors, or not the author. It could be the authors, could be the producers, could be the actors, all kinds of stuff. Many, many opportunities to build excitement. And every email, don't forget to remind them that they should be inviting other people, right? Jeff says, give away tickets to the premiere as a contest prize. Bingo. Right? I'm talking about just building a wait list for the crowdfunding. Jeff is, no offense, but that's That's way down the road, right? You got to build the, if you're doing crowdfunding, you got to get the money to make the movie first. But I get the point, right? Maybe you give a ticket to the, what do they call it? The run-through, the first run-through. Get the actors together and run through the script. All kinds of opportunities. People, once they're really excited about it, would be dying for those kind of opportunities. A Zoom call with the lead actors. All kinds of different things you could do. Look at this. There's an actual question in the chat. So hopefully, Keith, that gives you enough information about getting started. I think there's golden opportunities there. The same thing kind of sort of would be done for a band, maybe, right? They're going to release a new album. Give them the insider stuff. That's what people love. Some people don't care. But they also have to understand enough about either the actors or the storyline to be able to sign up in the first place. The campaign that we reviewed a long time ago, they were giving away, I don't remember, it was a brick or some piece of the studio set or something, but nobody knew what it was. They didn't do a very good job of explaining what it was, and they didn't have a list to start with, so trying to give away a brick fell flat on its face, so to speak, because nobody knew what the offer was. And thank you for your question, Keith. And these all apply to everybody, right? Just because we're talking about filmmaking, these things apply to all of your campaigns. Tom Matson taught me one valuable thing. I used to have it on a post-it note here on my monitor. And I'm trying to remember the exact words. Now, the quote he drilled into me was, how does this apply to me? So even though you might be tuning in to watch this and you might be going, well, I'm not doing a filmmaking crowdfunding thing, always be thinking, how does this apply to me? If you're not going to spend the time watching, if you're off doing something else, that's fine. But if you're here, always be thinking, how does this apply to me in my campaign? Or potential campaign? Or could this be something that I've never tried before and maybe it applies? I get some of the best ideas that way. Borrowing ideas is something that is quite okay. 30 minutes in, we got our first question from you guys, the community that are here. Stephen Hogland. I don't know, am I saying that right? It's H-O-A-G. Hoagland? It's probably Hoagland. Hoagland. I butcher. You say butcher, right? All right, Steven's question. I had to quit abbreviating your name. I do condo elections. So condominium association. Owners get a membership list of other owners for campaign purposes only. I want to run some kind of an election contest to get them on a different marketing list. I want to run an election contest to get them on a different kind of list. What is that different kind of list? Have you heard of any contest use case like this before? That's a very interesting question, Stephen. Because you got an incredibly limited audience, right? Say there's 1,000 people in your condo association. It's not like person A can go running around the city trying to find other people. If they don't live in the association, they may get them energized to come vote. Sorry, it's got very windy outside. Last Tuesday, by the way, There was a noise going on. It turns out it was a woodpecker. I kept saying there was a phone ringing nearby. I heard it later, and it was a woodpecker that was pecking on something metal. Anyway, the wind just gusted by the house. But it's very fascinating, right? So the struggle that condominium, and I was on a condominium association board many years ago. Getting people to vote, is hard enough in politics land, but getting them to vote in a condominium association, whew, there are so many people that don't care. And they only typically care if there's some issue that's related to their unit that they care immensely about. So, if you try to get the owners, let's see, I'm trying to think. If you're giving a membership list to the people running for election, which is why I think I might be a little confused. Stephen, are you talking about giving the owners list to the people running for election? Or are you just talking about a general campaign in the association trying to get people to show up or vote? You cannot legally use the membership list to sell things. Of course not. Each house has several people inside. They could also be leads. I guess I'm still not totally sure what the purpose of the campaign is. Is it to get people to vote? To get them on a different marketing list? Very interesting question, Stephen. It's kind of like there's a question in the UpViral group right now where somebody is asked about recruiting. Could you run a campaign for recruiting new hires? And I have been asked that question before, and I struggle. I actually had a client come to me one time wanting to use an UpViral campaign to find car salesmen for his car dealership. And at the time I said, no, I can't think of a way of really doing that. I mean, that's also a very limited audience, right? If you are running a campaign and you're looking to recruit car salesmen, the average person on the planet may know 0.001 car salesman. So it's potentially very, very difficult to find those people. So Stephen, you're still here, right? I still see you in the list. Every owner gets a list. I need to convert that list to my own leads. The campaign is for a candidate. The hope is to piggyback on contest that the campaign, on that candidate's campaign. All right, so what you're trying to do, Stephen, is convert the list of owners. You're just simply trying to get them on your list for other marketing, right? Piggyback on a contest that suddenly multiple questions popped in and things popped up. Let me make it longer. Every owner, let's see. The hope is to piggyback that contest on the candidate's campaign. See, but the struggle that you pointed out is that you can't sell anything to people. So what is their real purpose for signing up? Why would they put their name down? They're going, I live here. You already have a list of all the people. What's the temptation? What's the offer to get them Jeff says I would use the campaign updates and an email SMS to get alerts of updates on election issues. That would get them on your list. Yes, if you could get them to subscribe to your list, but that does not let you use them for other marketing purposes. And again, I don't think you necessarily need UpViral for something like that, because you're not asking them to refer somebody else. Again, unless they're within the community, right? So you could end up offering some kind of ethical bribe to say, hey, get free pool access. Wait a minute, they probably have that. Find something that is related to the community that would give them a bonus if they made sure that somebody else voted for candidate A. You see, I'm struggling with this one a little bit because I'm not quite sure how you would convert them from just the election issues to be able to market other stuff to them ethically. If anybody's got an idea, I'm certainly open. I don't always have the right answers. I know, it's shocking. But that's the struggle. It's not getting people on the list. Technically, I already have the list, but getting them to opt in and then being able to, within the rules, get them to potentially opt in for another list is what you really want them to do. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Bradley said, recruiting for employees, use lead magnet about the culture or how to succeed in blank position. Incentivize them with a resume review or a workshop, then follow up with a list of relevant positions and relocation packages. Yes, all of that is good stuff, Bradley, for the recruiter, right? Trying to get people. The question always is, in using something like UpViral, the goal of UpViral is to get person A, who may be eligible or interested in position B, but how do you get person A to refer other people? I mean, they may not want to submit other people because then that's competition for the job. Bradley says it happens all the time. Well, then maybe we can talk about that. Put it on the list, Bradley. Carlene, that's who it was. Hi, Carlene. Welcome, welcome. We talked about you earlier, Carlene. You missed it. You'll have to watch the replay. I couldn't remember your name. I apologize. I knew it was a K word. Carlene, Kayla, something. Anyway. So there was another question that popped in from somebody. I'm forgiven. Thank you. Where is it? Oh, Charles. So, Stephen, I'm not sure that I ever gave you a really decent answer. I can understand why you're struggling, and right now I'm not coming up with anything. Maybe I have sickness lingering in my brain and it's just not firing on all cylinders, as they say. Charles' question earlier was, and again, please switch to everyone so that everybody gets to see the questions. Can I use UpViral to give away a free weekly vacation in exchange for trying our car rental site? How should I set this up? Charles, one of the members of my mastermind, his name is Earl, is teaching people how to use incentives in their business. So basically what you're talking about, the free weekly vacation, is an incentive, right? Incentives work great for all kinds of different businesses. A vacation incentive can work for a car rental site, especially. The car rental may not be available in that particular location that somebody wants to travel to, but you can certainly do it. Even I've seen contests. I know several people that are running offers as contests where everybody wins a free trip. They don't care. They've got all the trips, millions of trips to give away because they're incentives and part of the incentive program. So the idea here, however, is you need to be careful. I cannot remember her name. I could go look it up. It starts with the letter V. I want to say Vandalia, but I don't know if that's right. I spoke with her at length because she runs contests all the time that are just giving away these vacation incentives. But her business is something completely different, and I don't remember that part either. But the thing that I do remember from the conversation that she and I had was she said, Mitch, I am amazing at getting people off my list that don't want my real product. So she is taking in massive quantities of people and then convincing people to opt out. And that's her game, and she said it worked really well for her. I don't know the secrets of getting people to opt out, but that's what she was doing. So how would you set this up? I would make sure that your offer would be the car rentals, right? Maybe the car rental could, give away the car rental for a week as the main prize, and 50 people win a vacation certificate. 10 people, 20 people, some number of people win the vacation trip, the free thing, the incentive. And then once the campaign's over, of course, you're going to send everybody an additional offer with some sort of free incentive, because you probably got these incentives to give away like their butter. Give away like their chocolate chip cookies. Or catnip or something. But make sure your contest is relevant to attract the people who are interested in the car rental. Probably the vacation is also the same group of people. So you might be in a really good niche there, as opposed to somebody who's giving away vacation trips and their business is selling cars. See what I mean? Could you offer incentives as a car dealer? Absolutely. Hey, buy a car from us and we'll give you a free trip. That works, but you don't give away the free trip necessarily as the dangling because of the relation, although Vandalia's doing it and getting away with it. Does that make sense? Charles says yes. When they share the UpViral link with friends and relatives, they too get the same vacation package. Great. That gives them more incentive to share it, right? Bonus. Perfect. You can implement that as a reward inside of UpViral or an incentive, so that when they refer somebody, they get that as a bonus. It's much like Dropbox did back when they started out and still do, right? So you sign up for Dropbox, they give you a gigabyte of free space, whatever the offer is these days. And if you get somebody to sign up, you get the gigabyte of free space, another one, and they get a gigabyte. So it's a really good bonus. In fact, I'm holding on to this because this came in the mail to me this week. I'm going to move the chat out of the way so I can see what I'm showing. This came from HelloFresh. You guys may be familiar with them. They are doing the prepackaged meals to be healthy, right? Notice that these are little cards attached to a letter. But notice this, right? I'm sorry, this one. For for you, I can't read my own thing backwards. For you, you get 17 free meals when you start. And they give you the coupon to hand, and they say, for a friend. They tell you right here, go give this to somebody. This is the kind of stuff that most businesses aren't doing. And Charles, bless your heart for doing this. You understand the value of, if Betty gets a free trip, she goes, hey, Paula, come over here and sign up. I got a free trip. You'll get one, I got one. Hey, it all works for everybody, right? But when I saw this, I'm like, Mitch, you got to save this, because this is exactly what we're trying to do. Get more people into our business by asking a friend. This stuff works. Most people aren't doing it. Most business owners aren't even thinking about this. So yes, Charles says the winners of the drawing gets to share the same vacation to friends and family. The goal is to get as many people possible seeing our car rental site. Absolutely. Great. Perfect. And when you get that set up, send it to me and we'll do a review for you. Bing! Carlene asked, and Carlene, and you guys, if you wouldn't mind, switch to everyone. Thank you. Carlene asked, when we release bonuses as people achieve a certain number of points, for example, a link to an ebook, do we put the link in the email? It depends upon how you set up the incentives, Carlene, apologize. Let me flip back over to UpViral. Let me share my screen. When you go, let me move the chat. When you go to the rewards and incentives section, the incentives are here, right? So let me add an incentive. These are your different options, Carlene. You can send out a coupon code. If you select coupon code, it switches the screen to help you send the coupon code. File to download, you can upload a file. Okay. Carlene says, I put in the link in the incentive, but then became uncertain. So let me finish this. So you can do a link to a URL, which is what I believe you're doing to download the PDF. How many points, or other. Now notice this type of incentive doesn't require any additional settings. All right. What they're not telling you in any of these things is that there are two ways for the person to get to receive the incentive. The first way, and in this case I have two incentives, right? The first one they're never going to see. This is something that's a revelation in the newest version of UpViral, is that you can hide these incentives. But let me continue to show you this. First referral does nothing in this campaign. I'm trying to get them to refer 2 people. And if they refer 2 people, then they're going to get this bonus of watching over the shoulder for me while I create something. All right. This is a link to a URL. This one is defined as an other, because I'm not going to do anything with it. Where do these things get used? In number 6, communication, here is a tab that some people don't always see called reward emails. I've seen people skip right on past this because of this tab layout, and I've suggested to UpViral team they change this somehow, because I see people, they don't know this is here. They don't see it. The same thing is true on the share message, because there's a Twitter thing here and there's an email thing, and I think a lot of people don't see those. It lands here and they do this and off they go. Anyway, under communication, there are reward emails. Notice I have this one turned off because I don't want to give them anything when they earn the first one. So this one's still hidden. And then this one is turned on. Send an email when they earn this thing. And if I go into edit, one of the things is you got the reward name. And the other thing is the reward URL. So this is where that URL from the incentive shows up. Okay, you with me? All right, so that's the first place that they would potentially see it. And you can also, it's up here under the personalize. If you lose that, you can always get it. It's right here. Referral URL or reward URL. I'm sorry, not referral. Reward URL. It's right there. Reward name. Now, if this is not a reward email, you won't see those in the list. So yes, it's in the reward email. It's under communication. Yes, under personalize, those two things are here. Now, if you notice, if I come over to the main emails and I click on edit, there is, in this personalized, there is no reward or name or URL. Because they don't apply here. All right. Now, where's the second place? Does anybody know the second place where those appear? Where these rewards appear? Anybody? Anybody? Nope. Nobody's... I know there's a little delay. I couldn't see in the normal email. That's because it doesn't go in the normal email. Absolutely right. Okay, where's the second place these appear? Nobody's guessing. Everybody's off doing something else. On the sharing page, does it appear on the incentive page? It appears on the sharing page. Kiki has it now. See, you wait till I show you, right? That's brilliant.
Huh?
Here, I'll give you the applause. LOL, I was typing. All right. So in the social sharing page, what you have is a section. If you scroll over here, there's this incentives block. I already have one on the page, so I'm not going to drop it. That's this. Notice that when you select this, all of the incentives will show up in this list. But you can turn them on and off. If I turn the first one on, which I, there it goes again, which I don't really want, you can also set this up if you scroll down. If you scroll back up, grid layout, here it is. You can make it be side by side. How many items per row. So you can do that kind of stuff with this. But notice, Carlene, if they earn this incentive, there's a visit link. So if they have enough points, they can see it on the sharing page and click that link and go download it. Or do whatever. Okay? Got it, she says. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Okay, that's it for the show. Somebody earlier said that it would be less than an hour. I got 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Let me check the Facebook group. Oh, Carlene was over there. Hello. All right. Any other questions? Do you guys have any other questions? That was a great question, Carlene. Where do those incentives show up? It's not obvious, is it? It's not really obvious. I'm going to cancel without sharing. Without saving. Carlene says, so they need to go back to the share page, to that link, if it's available. Or the email. Either or both. You can not have the email turned on. But why wouldn't you have the email turned on to let them know that they earned it? They're not going to just keep coming back to your share page going, oh, where is it? Did I earn it yet? Did I earn it yet? Did I earn it yet? They're not coming back. They're not thinking about it. It's often, I think that many people don't put the incentives on the sharing page because if it's on the sharing page, then they got to explain it and it can get complicated. Yes, and that's what I mean. They don't. Most people, Carlene, are not going to just keep going back to that to see if it's available. That's what the purpose of the email is. Send it to them in email. Let them have the link in the email to the ebook. If they come back to the sharing page and they see that it's available, you put the incentive there, that's great. They can then go use it. Get it. Makes perfect sense, she says. That's why I was confused. Yeah. People, it is confusing. I now know the development team is spending a lot of time trying to make this easier. In fact, I had one of my mentors decide to start using UpViral, and she sent me a couple of videos. And she didn't go through any of the training. She just said, oh, I could use this. I know how to use this. It's obvious. And she kept asking me questions. And I said, so it's not obvious, is it? And so I've been sending those over to the development team saying, hey, here's a perfect example of somebody who's a very intelligent young lady, knows what she's doing, techie, she's not tech challenged, and she still misses things. And I'll tell you, for example, she thought she had the entire campaign done, and she was in the video, she was walking through UpViral, and on this page of the design pages, she had the opt-in page, but there was no sharing page. And I said, Jennifer, where do they go after they opt in? Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, I got to create that page, right? It's not necessarily just bang obvious all the time. We know that after the opt-in, you got to send them somewhere, and the whole purpose of sending them somewhere with UpViral is the sharing page, to ask them to share. She also did the thing where she had Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn as her sharing buttons. And I said, why aren't you trying Pinterest? Why aren't you trying Twitter or whatever the other ones are? WhatsApp and Messenger. She said, oh, I don't think people will share there. I said, how do you know? How do you know if it's your first campaign? How do you know that your audience isn't sharing like crazy over to Pinterest? Try it and find out. Look at the stats. If nobody's sharing on Pinterest, take it off of your next campaign. It's not about where you do things, it's about where they do things. It goes very back to the very first question where we talked about your avatar. Say, Jennifer, maybe your people are hanging out over on Pinterest. Maybe there's a big community over there and you don't know about it. But if you exclude it from your sharing, how are you ever going to find out? Right? All right, you people. Questions. This is question and answer day. It's 10 o'clock. My time. Show must be over. Right? Bingo. Billy. Gosh darn. And here's before I answer Carlene's question. This is for you people asking questions. Think about it. Here's your time to think. Right? I assume you hear that. I haven't checked the settings. Did I do it right? Anyway. There you go, the horse. The horse is a horse, of course, of course. Unless he's a horse of another course. His name is Mr. Ed. Who knows that show? I'm dating myself. There's a TV show in the U.S. called Mr. Ed, the Talking Horse. Carlene's question. On average, what percentage of people share? I want all of y'all that are here to give me a guess. On average, what percent of people share? Does anybody know? I have, there it is. Kiki, Carlene say 20%. Carlene's changed her mind to 10%. Scott said 30%. In a study done by, I'm going to post this, Steven says 8%. Good try. 14% of the people hitting the share page taking action. And this was a study, the stats done by a company called Referral Sasquatch. I found that stat out there on the planet. Okay? 14% of the people hitting the share page taking action. That's pretty low, isn't it? Now wait, Carlene, don't run away yet. Oh, John Lee had it over in the Facebook. He said 10 to 15%. Very good, John Lee. Glad you're here. Carlene says not running anywhere. All right, watch this. These are the numbers from Mitch's 250,000 leads plus. Look at the left chart. The right chart doesn't mean squat right now. My average is 30% sharing over all those campaigns. And Kiki says that's only those who hit the button and not actually share. Carlene says your average is double. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'll go back and show you my famous chart. Here's a football field with 261,000 is my current number. Right? A plus and minus a few. I'm not currently using my account for client stuff. 261,000. That football field holds 100,000 people. So 2.5 plus football fields worth of people are what that plaque in the back of the room stands for. Who cares, right? In my account, my number of people who were referred is 114,000. 114,000 referred. Those are the people that out of the 260,000 that were brought in by somebody else. I didn't market to those 114,000 people. Somebody else brought them to me. That's 43%. And this is why I tell you to focus on this number. 43% of all of the leads in my 260,000 were brought to me by somebody else. They were referred. Focus on that number. Where do I get that number for those of you who don't know? I got to share the screen. Hold on. In a campaign, you go to the reports. Scott says that's not luck, but applied talent. Exactly. It's not luck. I'm not saying it's luck. You take the number of referred leads, you divide it by the number of direct leads, and that gives you a percentage. That number is not on this page. You have to do your math yourself. To me, that's the most important number in the reports. It's not the total leads. You've heard me preach about this over and over and over again. How many people are coming into your campaign as referred leads? If you're not looking at this number, then you might as well go look at ClickFunnels or some other tool and just collect leads and not ever ask anybody to refer anybody else. Carlene says, can you tell the team to put that number? I have begged and begged and begged and begged and begged. There's this coming soon section that's been over here for almost 2 years. You need to beg them. I have begged and begged and begged, and they have not done it. They haven't done half the things I want on this reports page. They got more important things. What they think are more important things. I mean, you can calculate this number. It's not that hard. It's this number divided by that number. If you go to your dashboard, on your dashboard, you have referred leads. That's where I got the 113,800 number. 262,000 leads. You divide this number by that number and it gets you 43%. It's not hard to calculate. Where the gold is, I mean, this is gold. You go to anybody on the planet that's running a business, and you say, hey, by the way, I get 10% more leads for free than anybody else that's running the same business. And they go, how in the hell are you doing that? 10% more? I want that. I want 10%. That's what the purpose of UpViral is. I go tell them, hey, by the way, I get 43% free leads for every campaign. On average, 43% free leads. For every person that comes in on the front, I get another 0.43 people. Because I have the skills, I have the knowledge, I have the tools to bring those people in. All I'm doing is asking them. It costs me nothing. I get them for free. Simply by asking. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to ask. But even if you're only getting a 10% referral. Wow. I just noticed, I got a bruise yesterday when I was at the doctor's office. There was a trainee that was trying to take blood. Didn't work so well for her. But bless her heart, she was trying. So I got on a rant there. Scott had a question. How could UpViral work for charity donations for an event like a half marathon? There is always the question of, is this legal? The very first thing. I was laughing because Bradley and I were talking about this. I am not a lawyer. I do not play a lawyer on the Copilot show. I don't play a lawyer anywhere else on the planet. What I have seen is plenty of contests, campaigns for charity. Just go look at omaze.com or I can't think of the others, where they are asking for donations and somebody's going to win $1 million house. They are selling entries. You donate $50, you get 50 entries. That kind of stuff. Is it legal? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I tend to think it is. They always have a method of free entry. We could talk about that till we're blue in the face. But UpViral could do that for donations. What I would do would be I would structure the campaign so that anybody can enter for free. There is anybody, let's say you're going to give away jogging suit, I don't know, run with some celebrity during the marathon, whatever, some kind of big, exciting prize. Take their name and email it. Everybody that enters is eligible to win the prize. On the sharing page, do custom actions that say, hey, donate $50, get an additional 50 entries. So it's not the primary driver, but it's an option. Connect with your lawyer and find out if they think that's legal. I see contests all the time. In fact, I did a campaign review of the Outback Super Bowl contest, not this year, but last year. And in order to be eligible, you had to buy a meal at Outback Restaurant. Like, okay, so there's a little alternative method of entry of sending in a postcard. Who's going to do that these days? But it gets around the laws to get you in the ballpark. I also, there's one company that gives away a truck every year. $40,000 truck. Psst, by the way, it's always a used truck, which slays me, but people want to win this truck. You buy stuff in their store, truck parts, truck tires, all that kind of stuff, and you gain entries into the contest to win the truck. Apparently it's legal. I don't know. I don't play a lawyer on TV. Can you do it for charity? Absolutely, when you talk to your lawyer. Stephen said, do you have any idea what percentage of total leads actually created those referrals? I mean, one lead can refer a dozen people. Not sure I understand the question, Stephen. Sorry. Let me try to ask that differently. Are there some possibilities that the numbers are a little goofy? I mean, yes. Scott said, that's challenging. Yeah, I challenge you to get a better average than me. Bradley said nonprofits have different rules. They have a 50-50 requirement. I'm not an attorney either. I don't know about that 50-50 requirement. Oh, yes, you can do 50-50 raffles like charity things where half the profit goes. Yeah, you can do that. But that's not what he's talking about. Bye, Bradley. I missed you. I'm sorry. All right, so it depends upon how you're counting the numbers. Potentially, maybe what Stephen is asking. If you look at the raw data, you have better numbers, but it's still not perfect. So what UpViral is reporting is the direct leads are the people that you send to the campaign, right? The referred leads are free people. They're all referred. So let's say person A is a direct person, right? They go do the social sharing, and person B comes into the campaign. So they become referred, and they end up in the referred bucket. And person B then does referrals. So person B refers person C. They both of them end up in what UpViral reporting is the referred bucket. So am I seeing an exact number of how many percentage of referrals there are? No. But they're all referrals. They're all free from the original source. Free. They're all referrals from the original source. So if that's what you're saying, excuse me, I see. You said 43% of the leads were referred. What percentage of the total leads were responsible for all the referred leads? Now, there's a great question. Basically, what we're talking about is typically, if I had my spreadsheets in front of me, I probably could tell you, but it's probably 10 to 20%. So even if I have 30% of the people sharing, a lot of those people won't get any referrals, right? They may just click the button and, get the points, blah, blah, blah. But I would typically say that I'm guessing, because I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's probably about 10%. As an example, one campaign that I do remember, that I went in and looked at the top 10 people, and the top 10 people referred 75% of all the leads. They were fighting like crazy to win a trip to Hawaii. The top 10 people brought in 75% of the leads. But guess what? You have to study the data to go find that out. Nobody's doing that. But me. By the way, Carlene says, oh wow, 10 people equals 75% of the leads? Yes. This is why you got to go look at the damn data. So what do you do when you find that? This is what stuns me. Somebody, you, all right, 10 people referred 75% of all the leads. You know that. Now what do? Kiki says, number one, bingo. That's half of it. Reward them more. Absolutely true. What's the other thing you do, Kiki? All right, Stephen. Stephen has the answer. Bless your heart, Stephen. Retarget those referral generators for future contests. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. You guys are getting some secrets here. I don't tell this to many people. Make a list in your UpViral of people who did the top 10 referrals, the top 20. Next time you have a campaign, send them a private email that says, hey, by the way, we're launching another contest. I'm going to let you in early so that you can get as many leads as possible. You were so freaking awesome. You get more than 20 leads, I'm going to give you an extra bonus, even if you don't win. Treat those people like royalty. Why are you letting these people slip through your hands? Why are you not paying attention to these people? Why are you not looking at this data? I get so frustrated. They're sitting right there in front of you and you're not doing anything with them. You're not even thinking about what you could do. But you got to look at the data. You've got to start looking at the data. UpViral gives you all the data you could possibly need in that export file. Everything you want to know about that audience is in your export file. How many people are even ever downloading that export file? I bet you none of you are going to raise your hands. I bet you nobody is downloading that export. Can you only, Carlene's question, can you only reward during a campaign or only after for future campaigns? You do however the hell you want, girl. They're yours. They're on your email list. You don't have to do it in relationship to a campaign. Send them cookies. Forever, Kiki says. Damn right. Give them early access. Let them start early for you. Stephen Hogland. Psst, Stephen. Even the UpViral team doesn't know this stuff. They don't know it. Don't tell them. That list sounds like a force multiplier. Exactly. Could UpViral somehow extract that info as part of the app? Sure, but you've got the data right now. You've got the data. Nobody raised their hands, by the way. I called it. None of you raised your hands that you're downloading that file. I have a spreadsheet that I use that pulls data out of that file. I get probably 50 or 60 different statistics from that file that you never would have even frickin' thought about asking for. I showed it to the UpViral team. They were like, holy crap, what is all that? I'm like, this is data. This is what's inside that export file. What is the percentage of people that clicked on a Facebook button What is the percentage of, see, you don't know that. You don't see it. You get a number. You get 50 or something in their reports. You don't know what percentage that is of all the people. You have to sit there in your head and go, well, I had 1,000 people enter, so that's 0.05%. Maybe it's 20%. Maybe you should be focusing on that number because that's where your audience is, but you don't know it because you didn't go look at the damn data. What if 50,000 people shared on Facebook and only 2 people came in through that Facebook share? Do you know that? Do you see that in the reports? No, you don't see that. It's right there in that data file. You have to do some massaging to get it out. This is the stuff I have been living off of, which is one of the reasons why my campaigns do so well, because I look at the damn data. I created massive spreadsheets looking at the data to find out where the trends are. I download that every day for my reporting in a campaign. Daily trends. Daily trends? What the hell is that? Yes, I have all that. I'm giving out the cheat codes. No, I'm not. I'm telling you it's there, but you gotta go find it. You gotta go do the work. I've done the work. Are there ways you could get it from me? Well, that's all another topic. Do you work from Excel templates or do you use the export? The export is integrated into the Excel spreadsheet. It's the master data for all the stats. It's right there in the spreadsheet. All the calculations come off of that export. Did you know that you can see in that export that Betty Lou shared it 25 times and she got 500 views? You don't see views except for that top row in the reports. But you can see that Betty Lou got 50 views. You can see that Paula got 5 views. You can see that Kiki is the killer and got 500 views. Did any of those convert? You don't know that until you look at the spreadsheet and you look at the data. Some of you would be amazed at the stuff that I have in spreadsheets. I have a spreadsheet that shows you the downline impact of every person that enters your campaign. So inside of UpViral, you can see that Kiki referred 50 people. You can see all of the numbers of how many people that Kiki referred. That's the first level. I got 10 levels of data for what was Kiki's complete total impact, because down the road, level 2, somebody could have referred 50,000 people. That's not showing in your data anywhere. Imagine what you could do with that data. But you have to be willing to spend the time to look at the data. That's the problem. Nobody's willing to spend the time to do it. All they want to look at is that total number in the upper right-hand corner. How many leads did this campaign get? That's all they care about. 95% of the people only care about that number. Maybe 98%. That's one of the reasons why UpViral's not updating the reports page, because nobody goes and looks at it. They see that all the people care about is that total leads. They're putting their effort where people are looking. They're not looking at the reports. I think that's the biggest mistake of any person doing an UpViral campaign. They're not looking at the data. What's an example of how you would reward those top shelf people? anything you can think of. You can even have an internal contest for the next campaign and say, well, I'm going to top 10 people. Whoever invites the most people in this campaign, I'm going to give you a free vacation from those incentives that we were talking about earlier. You could give them $1,000. What do you care? They're bringing you 50 people, 100 people, 2,000 people, whatever they're bringing you. Reward them. Give them a free trip. Give them Amazon money. Give them a contest within a contest. Oh, Kiki, you're starting to really get some of my secrets. All you got to do is show up every week and pay attention and stay to the very end. In my mastermind, I have people that wait till the end to show up because they know where that's often where we've been diving into some really deep stuff. And they're like, I am one guy, he consciously shows up at the end of the 3-hour call because he knows typically that's where we have some of the best insights. Stephen, great question. It's odd. I can't recall any of the guests here ever mentioning this part of their contests. Are they hiding something or they just don't know? They don't know. They don't know because they haven't been the crazy, silly, goofy, anal kind of guy that dives into the data. There's gold in those hills, but they don't know to go looking for it. I can guarantee, nobody raised their hand that they've even downloaded the export. Because you don't know what's in there. You think it's just a list of names and people. But all the referral data is there. All of the visits are there. The questions and answers for the custom actions. All that data, every bit of it is there. I think there was one thing that I came up one day, and I don't even remember what it is, of something that I really wished was in that spreadsheet that's not. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, there's all kinds of gold in there, and it takes time to pull it out. You got to look at it, analyze it. Anyway, I'm... All right, so I've just been ranting for the last 30 minutes. Was there another question that somebody said? I answered that one. Templates. Force multiplier, absolutely. Retargeting, yeah, I think we've got all the questions. It's almost like you can use the contest to find the top people, then give those people the real contest. It's one way to do it, sure. The real struggle is that most of you will not make the time to dive into this because A, you don't know it's there, and B, you think, oh, what I really need to know is what the top level numbers are. How many leads did I get? Keith says, it seems obvious from what you have said that the team needs to put a button on the main results saying more analytics. I won't dive into the back stuff that I've been working on and trying to get the UpViral team to do because who knows whatever's going to happen. I have to be careful. It's not likely that we're going to get anything additional ever in the reports because, as I said, nobody looks at it. Because even with my preaching on this show and elsewhere, unless I walk you through the data, which is the kind of stuff we do in my mastermind, we spend an hour looking at a campaign that you're running to look at the data to find out what it's telling us. Is the lead page working? Is the sharing working? Gotta look at all that stuff. But nobody is really looking into that unless I force them to. Seems like a selling point to me. Absolutely. But I will guarantee you that if you go look at the other tools, and I have, even as much as I struggle with some of the stuff in UpViral's reporting, it is 90% better, 100% better, 200% better than what the other guys have. Most of the tools don't even have a report section. That's how it is. Because they have discovered that nobody cares. They have discovered that nobody cares because all they want to know is how many leads did I get. That's all they want to know. It's all you want to know. You can't tell me, none of you that's in this list can tell me you had any interest in that data until I told you it was there. You didn't know it was there. Even some of the people in my mastermind dread going into the report section when we start looking at it because they know I'm going to dive deeply into that stuff. And they kind of just want to know, is the campaign working or not? Right? Kiki says facts. I mean, the folks at UpViral, they have all the statistics of how many people go into those tabs. Right? They know how many people go into the reports. They know how much time people spend in there. All that data is in their statistics. They look at that and they go, well, nobody's going into the traffic side of the reports. Why should we bother to fix that or enhance it or do anything? Nobody's going there. So they obviously don't want to know that. That's why I built all my own spreadsheets. And if they ever take that export away, I'm going to be pretty unhappy. Kiki says, I didn't care. I just wanted to know the leads. That's all they think is important because they don't know any better. I understand. I totally get it. I didn't care at the start. It's only when I started working with clients, by the way, that I needed to go dive into that data so that I could try to impress them and tell them what a good job I was doing, right? Pat myself on the back. Hey, did you see this? We got 30% of the people to share. Keith says it's particularly useful for clients. Absolutely. And I think when UpViral has talked about having an agency version, I think they were talking about potentially having more stuff in the reports, like an advanced section, for better reporting, more reporting. But they haven't done that either. Let's see. Steve mentioned me in the UpViral group. So Steve, I'm gonna, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna answer Steve's question. In the Facebook group, Steve says, is there anyone using UpViral to enable resellers or affiliates? The answer is yes, but it's convoluted. I'm wondering whether if I set up one evergreen campaign for all my resellers or set up an evergreen campaign for each, this could track sales and leads. No, UpViral can't track sales. That's the big problem, which is why nobody really does it in depth. UpViral does not have any tracking for sales in an external site. This could track sales and leads and enable me to recompense people. Yes, that could be true. If you get really deep into the weeds, you could use Zapier to track some sales. The problem always is, so if Betty registers with Betty at test.com in UpViral, but she goes to your store and she says, well, I use Betty at Mitch.com to buy, those two things will never mesh unless there is a tracking script that can connect those two things. Yes, Carlene, I can do that. And then we're going to run out of this show. Steven, in the UpViral group, Steve Adams, so if you catch this replay, the UpViral knows that that's a thing that would be really exciting to do. I don't know whether they're working on it because they don't tell me their future plans. A lot of people ask to be able to track affiliates and to be able to reward them. Especially if you do if you do a JV launch or something and you have these top contests for affiliates, wouldn't it be cool to be able to track them and see how many people they refer and do all kinds of stuff inside of UpViral to encourage more sales? It would be a great thing for UpViral to have. Will it ever have it? I don't know. It's asked for all the time. And yes, by the way, Steve, I have seen people that create a campaign, set it up for affiliate A, and then they clone the campaign for affiliate B, and clone that campaign for affiliate C. And they send all of their traffic for affiliate A, B, and C to the appropriate sites, and they do some semi-quasi tracking through that. I've seen it done, yes. All right. Carlene's question, would you mind showing us how to create and set up a subdomain once we have the domain? Where do we put the new subdomain so it shows instead of UpViral's link? Carlene, do you already know how to set up the custom domain in UpViral? No. All right. There's an entire show on that topic. I'll do it in 3 minutes or less. Because it's already 10:40. Hey, that's IRS 1040 form here in the United States. First thing you do is you go to your domain and you set up a CNAME. My preference is that you do that first. Then you go to Settings, Custom Domains, and you look at the instructions. The instructions for setting up your CNAME are right here. Okay, basically you're going to go into your hosting provider. Like if you're using Cloudflare or something like that, it's really easy. You go in and you create a subdomain. You create a CNAME, which is essentially creating a subdomain. Do not create a subdomain in your cPanel. If you know what that means, don't do it. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking simply about, in the DNS settings, creating a CNAME record. They're using example lander.mydomain.com, win.carlene.com, and then you point that to app.upviral.com in the CNAME field. Once you do that, you come over here and you do add new, and you say win.carlene.com, because you've already built that. You redirect it to whatever campaign you want to redirect it to, and you say add service. Okay, that's step one. UpViral will take a little bit of time, but these two things should turn green. It should be DNS is green and the SSL is green. Once that is true, I don't know. Then you go to your campaign and you go to step number 7 on the setup. Number 8, the advanced settings. and you go referral tracking domain, you go edit, and you pick win.carlene.com from this list. If it's not showing up here, then something is still red over in the other setup. They have set it so that if you don't see your subdomain here, it's not set up properly. And you do the same thing over here for custom domain. If you don't do both of those things and test everything out, then your custom domain is not going to work. But you see mine work, and you see up here, UpViral is using that as the link. Okay? Carlene says, got it. Extremely helpful. The step that most people don't know, they think they did the first step with the custom domain setup, and then they're like, okay, I'm done. Because it says, which campaign do you want me to point to? But you have to go into the advanced settings and do those 2 edits, or it won't really work right. Okay, it'll work, but it won't look right. What doing that last step does is really changes UpViral to think, instead of using UpViral.al, blah, 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 it puts in your custom domain in there for the link to your campaign. It's that second step that people don't know they have to do. All right. You're welcome, by the way. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to cut it off there. It's already an hour and 45 minutes. Oh, wait. Steven says, plotting data can make seeing patterns easier. Do you ever do that with UpViral download files? I take daily snapshots, yes, and I see daily traffic. I see quite a few charts that are daily charts in my stuff. So yes, I do plot charts. Plotting multiple fields against a timeline, yes, I do that. Carlene, is this better to do this as opposed to using the widget to put UpViral on your webpage? I got entire shows about that old topic, yes. I tend to prefer still using UpViral hosted pages, simply because you don't have all of the distractions of your existing website. Typically, people will put a page, and it'll have the menus, and it'll have a flashing thing that says buy something. You want people opting in to your campaign, and that's all you want to focus them on. The good news is now you can do both. You can do a widget on your UpViral, on your landing page, and you can do an UpViral hosted page. You can do them both if you want. That's the joy of one of the recent updates. Stephen Hogland says, awesome, Mitch, you are the contest man. I'm not branding myself as the contest man anymore. I have a wider field of view than just contests. Another great show. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. All right. Next week, I will not be here. I am closing on my mother-in-law's house, and I have to be at the closing. You're welcome, Keith. Carlene says, oh no! I don't know what's happening next week is my point. I assume that William will be here doing something fun. I don't know yet. I should be back the following week, as far as I know. Unless if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, as the guy that used to do the creature feature in Gainesville, Florida when I was a kid used to say, I will be back in a couple of weeks. And thank you for your patience and your kind words. Kiki says, I was wrong, Mitch. You'll find a way to give us great value. I always do, don't I? I give you more. I give you too much. I'm not selling you stuff. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being here week after week after week. And thank you for making time to learn how to dive into your numbers, because that's one of the most important things. We will catch you again soon here on the UpViral Co-Pilot Show. Good luck. I don't know. See you soon. Bye.